Listen closely to the rhythm of a modern morning, the hiss of steam from an espresso machine, the steady drip of an office coffee pot, the pop of a plastic lid as millions of people grab their morning fix. Today, over 60% of American adults drink coffee every single day, consuming hundreds of millions of cups daily. It's the engine of our workday, the excuse for our first dates, and the social lubricant of modern life. It feels uniquely American, fast, productive, and relentless. But America didn't create coffee. We were hooked on something different until a political protest and a cultural shift transformed an exotic bean into our national fuel. To understand how coffee conquered America, you have to go back to its true birthplace, the misty, high-altitude forests of Ethiopia. Centuries ago, indigenous groups like the Oromo people recognized the power of the wild coffea plant. They crushed the ripe cherries, mixed them with animal fat, and consumed them as high-energy ration balls for long journeys. By the 15th century, the plant crossed the Red Sea to Yemen. Here, coffee transformed into the hot beverage we recognize today. Sufi monks boiled roasted seeds into a brew called kahwa to stay awake during night-long religious chants. Coffee spread across the Ottoman Empire, giving rise to the world's first coffee houses. Schools of the wise. Scholars, traders, and poets gathered to debate politics and news over a dark, steaming cup. Early American colonists were largely unimpressed. They preferred tea until December 1773. Then came the Boston Tea Party. Patriots dumped 342 chests of tea into the harbor to protest unfair taxation. Overnight, drinking tea was viewed as treasonous. John Adams declared tea an unpatriotic beverage. Coffee houses like the Green Dragon in Boston quickly became the nerve centers of the revolution. Patriots gathered around wooden tables high on caffeine and ideology, planning the birth of a republic. America was forged in a coffee house. As the 19th century dawned, America shifted from an agrarian society to a factory-driven economy dictated by the clock. During the Civil War, Union soldiers were issued 36 pounds of coffee beans a year. It provided warmth and boosted morale. By the early 20th century, factories formalized the coffee break. It made workers faster, sharper, and more productive. Coffee was no longer just a beverage. It was the biological oil lubricating the gears of American capitalism. In the post-Patriotism era, first-wave coffee brought mass production. Instant coffees prioritized convenience over quality. Then came the second wave, led by Starbucks, redesigning Italian espresso culture for American sensibilities. Today's third wave treats coffee like fine wine, focusing on single-origin beans and artisanal craft. Tomorrow morning, when you hear your coffee maker, take a second to look into that cup. You're holding a plant first harvested in African highlands, adopted as rebellion and refined into the fuel of modern life. It's not just your morning pick-me-up. It's a taste of history,